guys, I am Ash, and this is Saf, and we're here playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. This is a sponsored video, a sponsored channel. Saf, what are we talking about today, man? I'm excited for this one because if you hadn't told me about it, I would have screwed it up, and I would have missed this entire thing, to be honest with you.
This is now the most important time of any season.
All right.
We're coming in towards the end of the season, right? It's the otherworld exploration. It happens every season, the last month of the season.
When I first saw this, I'm like, holy crap, we're nowhere. We're not progressing through the game at all, man. What's wrong with our account? And then you're like, no, that's everybody. Don't worry, bro. That's everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens in Otherworld is we enter a new realm. The storyline continues. We enter a new area of the world, and it has phases, but this is the most important time of the season. This is what will determine where you finish on the seasonal leaderboard and get all those juicy rewards for basically being the best player on the server.
Okay. It all comes down to this.
It all comes down to this.
So I don't care about this the first half of the season at all, then? I shouldn't even be looking here?
No, so the month one is very important as well, like the Utyur event that we talked about. That's very important, but it won't determine the outcome. This will be determined.
Okay.
As you're going throughout the season, you should try to do Vortex because you can pick up like 300 a day. So over 90 days, that adds up, right? It's still going to be meaning something.
Yeah.
But you can see already.
So right now we suck. Yeah.
Well, on the left here, you can see where we're at in the season. We're currently at 51%. We've earned 2,740. We've been playing pretty casually, kind of enjoying the experience. But you can see instantly on the left where it says season exclusive, we've earned 2,740. If we get 4,000 points in Lament in the Snowland here, which is the other world, we'll get 6,000 more. And then if we do another 4,000, we get another 6,000.
Yeah, so we get 12,000, so 15,000 in like no time, and that would put us, gosh, it would put us right outside the top 100. Like that's how easy it would be.
It would put us straight into the top 200. And if you look at the
top
reward
150
previews,
if
you look at the reward previews straight away, you can see that where it really matters. If you scroll up, top 150 is where it really matters because you get very exclusive items, which is the pony. Run around the world on a pony.
So if we can get top 50. What does that change? Not a ton, honestly, you know?
Basically a bit of dice. It changes at top 20 because you get a special tier of summoning at the start of the next season. You see those little gold banners. Those are called the Gold Carving Summonings. And what it basically means is when you open the new season, you basically get like one in every 5 or every 10 summons, you get a legendary, and it's exclusively tied to a pool. And the gold one is more likely to be the newer heroes of that season.
Oh, so so these are, so it's more lucky for these Supreme Season 2 summons to be a new legendary, not just a legendary per se, though.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
It's still, I still think it's every 10 summons you get a legendary. So normally if you have 20 summons here, you get 2 legendaries, but it will always, it's a more refined pool. But
I like how they do it. Do you like the system? Do you like this?
Yes,
I like it.
Great.
Yeah.
It makes the season reset feel less punishing. And obviously you get more summoning.
They don't give you like much extra for being first overall compared to like, you know, 50th, honestly, or 20th at least, right?
Yeah, I know a lot of players that like they modified season 2, so they expanded out a lot more. So it became like top 300 for the horse, and it was like top 150, I think, for the gold or something of that nature.
Okay,
it may have been top 50, sorry, not top 20. So they expanded it for season 2. But really, most players should aim for the horse because that's the exclusive thing, right? You can't get that again. That's the fun thing.
Is there an easy way to hack this and just get my points as quick as possible? What's the most optimal way to do this, Saf?
Right. So what you need to understand is there's 2 phases. That's the most important thing to understand. Phase 1 is daily activities, which is made up of 3 daily activities. Either you're going to do daily quests, which are these adventure preparations, or you're going to do daily dungeons, which are kind of like versions of the sort of element dungeons, or you will fight world bosses. Now, world bosses are really the ones you want to try and do. Even if you can only get to, I think, the 9 million point, the world bosses will give you more points than any other of the content. And obviously, every time you do a world boss, you get this orange material. And if you do the full maximum of the world boss, you'll get 2,500. Whereas if you do a daily exploration, I think you get like 100. So it's a very, very big difference. So you absolutely want to try and do the world bosses, but if you can't, then a dungeon is also okay. Most people will try and do like 9 or 10 world bosses and then finish them off with like 1 daily exploration. You can see like if you go to your daily exploration, the first tab there, if you do 1 adventure preparation a day, you'll get 1,200. So if you combine 1 daily with that, you'll get more than say 1 world boss at middle. So
Okay.
it just depends on
but
what
it
you
seems
can
like
do.
the daily exploration is like a pretty easy thing to do every day, right?
Well,
Like
the daily exploration are actually daily quests to do one of the activities. So the activity will give you points. If you complete the activity, you'll get a bonus point once per day.
Yes.
So these are separate to what the activities are. The activities themselves will give you points. I think if you finish a dungeon, for example, you get, I think, 800. I can't remember exactly. You could probably go to one of those things on the map in the new area there.
All right.
So each of the world bosses here, there'll be one per, there's like 6. And you'll see that, for example, this one, any necrotic damage will be increased by 100%. So it's telling you, build a necrosis damage dealing team.
Yeah.
That's what it's telling you here.
There
Pretty
you go.
straightforward.
All right.
But as you can see here, the thing to note is even if you hit 7,000, you will get 800 of this exploration material. And that material is how you get your progression. So even if you can only do 7 million, that's probably better than the domains. When we can go over to the domains right now, just run across right, and you should come to a domain at the bottom of this hill.
There we go.
So there will be 3 domains as well, right? This one here, if you've got cold and necrotic, you'll do 50% more damage. But if you go all the way over to difficulty 5, you'll see the maximum you can get here is only, I think, 500.
500, yep.
It's a big difference. Now you can do, I think, 15 activities a day. You've got 150, and it's divided by 10. So you could do 15 world bosses. The only difference is with the world bosses, you can't reuse the same team. Once you've used the team, it's locked. So that's just about how many heroes you have available to you. So it's just balancing the books. How many can you get to the highest value? Because ideally, if you can do all 22 million, you'll get the full 2,500, which is significantly more. It's like basically doing 6 of those dungeons in one day.
Okay, so the most optimal way to do this would be world boss.
Yes.
And with anything left over.
So if you're a super Kraken, 15 world bosses a day. If you're a very engaged player, I would say if you can hit like 12 world bosses, then do 1 domain, because in that tab there you can get an extra 1,200 for doing one of these activities once. So I would say if you can get to like 1 domain, 1 daily quest, and the rest in world bosses, that's probably like a good way to do it.
Okay, domain, daily quest, world boss. Right. Yeah. At the very least, make sure you're focused on this, I guess, right? Like first and foremost is understanding how it works and understanding how to, to actually do it. There you go.
Yeah. And there's some extra like one-time quests in terms of like alliances. If you work together as alliance, they'll give you a bonus amount of cash rewards there, which is kind of cool. And there's some like one-time things in depth. Like the moment you complete one of the domains to stage 5, you get like 2,000 payout, which is nice. So you get some bonuses.
In terms of the timing, like last question on my end, it says ends in 20 days. Obviously, that's like when our season ends, I imagine. So what does, or ends in 16 days. So tell me a little bit about the ends in 20 days, 16 days. How long do we actually have to do this?
So in the overview, if you click overview on the left there for the players. So once every single one of these hits 100%, this phases to phase 2, and you will fight the boss that you'll see in the dragon. So if we don't get to 100%, then the resurgent dragon will arrive in 16 days. So right now we have 16 days to do this every single day. So you can plan this ahead and go for it. But the moment these hit 100%, when the server resets overnight, the standard server reset, the dragon will appear. And then you have to basically fight that boss. And once the server kills that boss, it'll be over. So it will always end before the server
20
ends,
days,
essentially. I think it's a bit longer than 20 days. I think that's when the other world event will end, is 20 days. Then the server ends in about 30 days because it's a whole month.
So if it happens regardless, if you get the 100% on your server, does that mean that we're just not going to get the buff bonuses? Is that the only penalty for that?
So these buff bonuses are based on your alliance, right? So as your alliance points.
So what does it matter then?
If you don't complete the 100%, you don't get the skill. So the skill helps you fight the boss. Like if you click on this, I
got you. Yeah, and we're doing so crappy as a server right now. Do you think we're even going to hit it? Like obviously, okay.
Because what they do is they basically give you 10%, and then the server adds like 1.63%, and then they give you another 10%. So
they'll make sure they really want you to get okay. Because I'm like, dude, if we don't have any of these open, like so we're pretty much we're going to have them available.
Yeah. The only warning you need for a server is how quickly your server is at doing something. Some people might have a very active server, which means that you can kind of get there before you even have a chance to do anything. whilst other servers will be a little bit slower, which means you might have an extra 3 days on this phase. If you get the longer this phase goes, the harder the season leaderboard can be, because if players can keep cycling,
have a long time.
Rewards,
so it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's not like you don't necessarily want your server to be super fast, but you also don't want them to be like super slow, right? It's kind of like the Goldilocks zone.
If you can do 15 chaos bosses a day, you want the server to be super slow because you will dominate. If you can't, you want it to be super fast, so you don't get punished for it, essentially. So
okay, all right.
That is the crux of the thing. It's the most important time to do this, because if you don't focus on this, you might mess up your season. You might mess up the last 2 months of work to try and get yourself the really big rewards at the end of the season. Okay.
Well, hey, dude, Saf, great video. I'm glad that we talked about this, because like I said at the top of it, like I was like, oh, what is this when you first told me about it? So anything else that we should mention before we let you go here, or did we think we had a pretty comprehensive overview there?
Nope. Good luck, and hopefully you achieve your goals. Ideally, if you can get to top 150, great. But in the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if you don't, because next season there will also be more rewards for you to really push for. I, on my main account, missed the season 1 rewards, but I got it on season 2. So there's always fun things to do.
Nice. And every season 2, they combine servers as well. So just because you're on a dead or a very active server doesn't necessarily mean you are, or I guess it is more likely to be on a more active server as you play, correct?
Yeah, my season 4 server now is full of Kraken, so it's very fun.
Yay. Good for you, Seth.
They're more engaged, but it does mean you're playing the more engaged players. But it should mean like if you've got a quiet server, the next server becomes more popular, and then
a little bit more. Yeah. All right. And TBD, you never know. They're changing things all the time. Who knows by the time that we hit season 4 where things are at in the game. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this guide. Saf, thanks again for all the knowledge. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Good luck, and good luck in your adventures in the other world.
Indeed, guys. There's the other world guide. Make sure you don't sleep on it, and let us know, where are you right now on your server? You know, what is your percentage? We're about to put some real effort into this and improve our ranking, and we'll report back to you guys at the end where we end up finishing on our season on our server. Guys, with that, thank you Dragonheir for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching all the way till the end. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.